Hamilton Tiger Cats fans,
You're not done here, Ticats.
we have the Ticats info you need on their road to Regina. Here on the Ticats Audio Network.
The key to success on the field and in your backyard is a comprehensive game plan. So if you're building a fence or a deck this year, trust a Turkstra coach to design, quote, or order the right materials for your project. Visit a Turkstra Lumber near you to learn more.
From the Ticats Audio Network, this is the Coach O Show with Luke Tasker.
Regular season is finished. Week 1 of the playoffs, and the Ticats go to Montreal this Sunday for the 1 p.m. kickoff. Coach, you're coming off the, again, air quotes, meaningless game in Ottawa. Did you get what you wanted to out of that last regular season game?
We did. We got to win. I think
Love it.
Important. Yeah, we did. We got to win, and I thought that was important. Definitely were able to rest a few bodies. Couldn't rest everybody. Got a chance to see some players prepare and see what they look like in a game week and see what they execute under pressure and obviously under some adversity and also being tired. So all in all, we didn't come out terribly banged up or anything. So, yeah, I think a lot of positives came from last week.
One thing that's maybe just lingered and is still maybe lingering, and if not in your mind, at least in Ticat fans' mind, did the last Ottawa game solidify your quarterback situation or muddy the water a little bit?
No, there's no muddying the waters at all. We had a plan to go in and play 3 quarterbacks. We knew Jamie was going to be our short yardage guy, and if the game dictated that, he was going to maybe play a couple extended series. But Dane, it was always mapped out from the beginning. Matt was going to start. Dane was going to come in and, after halftime. And so that was the plan the whole time. And, we wanted to make sure that Dane's hand was okay and that he actually got some game action versus practice. Like, it's one thing in practice to have bodies around you, and it's another thing in a game to take off and slide and all that. And so we got a lot of things accomplished. Thought Jamie did a great job in short yardage, and Matt opened the game and let us down for a touchdown on the drive. So everything's clear.
Your defense, Coach. I mean, at points in the season that your defense has won games for you. They've been kind of across the board dominant at times. That third quarter, they posted 3 2-and-outs for the Ottawa offense. And with not the starting front 4 in, a mix of guys who got an opportunity to play. What can you say and what's your feelings right now on your starting defense?
Yeah, just proud of the way they've responded just the whole year. And, I think they were on the field quite a bit early in the year. At the end of the day, you're a team. And regardless of what happens in a game, your job is to play defense and take pride in it and to get better along the journey. I think when it comes to the last game, we elected to take the ball right off the jump. And that, we went down and scored. So the offense did their part. And in the second half, we knew we were going to be on defense first. And so the defense's job is to get the offense off the field. And they started fast. And so when you talk about starting fast, collectively, that's what we're talking about. The offense takes the ball and they score. The defense is going to start the second half. They go 2-and-out. The fact that you could stack, I think they punted their first 4 possessions, all 4 possessions in the third quarter. That's about as good as you can do unless you're going to score and take the ball away each time. So proud of the way they did. They started the second half of the game fast and gave our offense the best opportunity. And, you got to credit special teams too. And that's that complementary and situation football that we've talked about since training camp.
The first third of your season, Coach, you were 1-5, and then you finish up the regular season. The last 6 games, you go 5-1. Can you pin down, does a reason stand out to you as to the difference in your team from those first 6 to the last 6 games?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've taken care of the football a lot better, and we've taken the ball away a lot more. Combine that with being healthy and finding out who we are and just who's going to play what roles is a lot more defined than it was in the first third. It's hard to define all the roles when your lineup is consistently changing. And that's just a fact that we had to deal with. And, I think we made some adjustments along the way, be it in the kicking game on special teams. We were able to get Lawrence Woods back later. While we did lose some folks like Dylan Wynn and some things, we did get some key cogs back, like Simone. Dane stepped up his game. We found a left tackle that we felt upgraded us. There's other factors. We made a couple of trades along the way. There's just so many things that went into it and trying to figure out the 2022 football team. Just a credit to everybody for staying the course and, just staying unified.
Coach, let's get into a fan question here. Listeners, fans, you can mail in your questions for Coach to gameday@ticats.ca. We pick one each week to ask Coach. This week is from Don and Sarnia. Coach, congratulations on the turnaround this season and good luck next week in Montreal. My question is about travel. You'll be on the road for the rest of the season. Do you and the team have routines and traditions on the road, and do you keep them during the playoffs? Oski Wee Wee, Don and Sarnia.
Awesome. Thanks, Don. Yeah, no, we know we're going to have to be road warriors from here on out, which is a little bit different path than it's been here probably in the last 7 or so years. Since we've been around here. There's definitely routines. We did change ours up a little bit on the road, meaning as far as meetings and when we meet. We definitely, we like to land and once we get there to the hotel, we kind of give the players about an hour to unwind. That allows people that have to do media. And then after that, we'll get together for just real briefly, and then we'll usually watch a highlight tape or something like that and go from there. Like, that routine really won't change. The routine we want to get in is winning. That's the most important thing. But yeah, everything's pretty much locked, from everything's mapped out, from the time you land, basically until kickoff the next day. So there's not a lot of variance in that. The one difference, Don, I would say, would be the 1:00 kickoff. So everything's going to happen quite a bit faster. And we hadn't, outside of Labor Day, we hadn't had any experience, but that was a home game for us. So from here on out, we're going to have early starts. So that would be the one main change.
Yeah, great. Don, thank you for that question. That's great stuff. And again, you can email your questions in for Coach O at gameday@ticats.ca. Coach, this week you get sort of the extended week just by one extra day just for the Sunday playoff schedule games and no practice till Wednesday. Are the playoffs even more so than regular season? Is it even more so mental than physical at this point?
I think it's both. There's definitely a mental aspect to it that you can't ignore. And playoff football is physical. Football is physical in general. But it just, for whatever reason, there's just a more intensity for just a little bit longer. At the end of the day, it's always about execution and how you prepare. But there is a little bit more. Things are a little bit different, meaning, 3 teams aren't playing. And after this week, 2 teams won't be playing. So what does that mean? It means there's just a little bit more media. There's a little bit more riding on it, meaning these are elimination games. And those things are exciting. That's what you want to embrace. So you have to understand that there is going to be more attention the closer you get. And that, Dane or Luke, from having been a part of going to, multiple Grey Cups, that each week there's just one more media person around and one more thing that you could possibly be distracted. And that's what you earn. But you can't deter from what got you there, just the grind in the process. So we make sure that our players are prepared for those things, because some people get asked questions that haven't been asked questions all year. And all of a sudden they're in, and now that's a different distraction. We're just looking forward to the whole thing. This is something we clawed and scratched to have the opportunity for, and you enjoy the build up because it is a sports entertainment business, but you want to remain focused at the same time.
You brought up the fact, Coach, for the playoff stretches that I was a part of, we often did have the benefit of playing at least one home game, even if it was the semifinal, but we'd have a game at Tim Hortons Field. Though all of my Grey Cups were out west, like this year's is. This year you'd have to go Montreal, Toronto, and then out to Sask to win. What will it take? What extra little something more, a little special from your team will it take to have 3 straight pretty tough road wins?
Well, it just starts with one, and it starts with day one practice. And I know that gets a little repetitive, but anytime you get ahead of that, you're focusing on things you can't control. You use it as information and maybe how you plan or how you would plan. But everything now is coaches prep leading in. The players will be off tomorrow. We're going to go with the 3-day practice week and go from there. And that's really the sole focus. Definitely, we know it'll be a different path. We're prepared for it. It's been acknowledged. We know that. But I don't want anybody looking at anything past the day off tomorrow, quote unquote, which really should involve taking care of your body, getting a little more treatment, one more cold tub, turning one more page in your playbook. What we've done so far has gotten us here. It's going to require a lot more to end up right what you just described, and that's to be into Saskatchewan and to win it. We know that. Just want everybody focused on their day off, whatever that may look like to them, and then day one, laser focused, ready to go.
Coach, as you prep for this game, you've played Montreal 3 times this year, 1-2, your record against them, and it's been some weeks. And of course, your team has changed drastically since those summer games. Now, are you more inclined to watch the most recent games from Montreal, or are you more inclined to look back at your 3 matchups with them as you study film?
Definitely both. Absolutely. You want to see how they played you, what the thought process was at that given time. You also want to see how their players have, quote unquote, improved, what they're doing with them, and that sort of thing. So I think it's safe to say you look at both. Obviously, you don't want to saturate yourself with too much information, but you definitely want to get some information, put together a plan, and then quickly return the focus back to ourselves and our own execution and preparation. That's
great. The Coach O Show with Luke Tasker is presented by Turkstra Lumber. Check out the project coaches at Turkstra Lumber. They can help with every part of your home renovation, from designing a deck to ordering a new front door. Learn more at turkstralumber.com. And be sure to send your fan questions in for Coach to gameday@ticats.ca. Hoping for 3 more Coach O Shows this year. One to follow up if you can find time in the celebration week after the Grey Cup would be the 3rd from here. We'll surely have one before each game. Coach, as you get ready for Montreal, what extra motivation do you have for your team? You mentioned highlight tapes. Is there something fun, something a little bit unusual that the average listener may not know about as to the inspiration for the Ticats going into the playoffs?
Yeah, there would be a few things that I will share after the Grey Cup for sure. But you always want to keep things fresh. I guess that's where I'm going with it. I mean, there is a such thing as the routine and wanting to follow that. And then there's also an aspect of having a little bit of fun while keeping it serious, because at the end of the day, you can't do football 24 hours a day. And if you do, there's no guarantee that means you win. So that's why I truly believe it's about dealing with them as people first, players second, and then also understanding your football team, where you're at, where we're going, and definitely how to get there. So we'll have a couple of things lined up that are maybe a little bit different than the past. But other than that, this, Luke, like the best players that I've been around are mainly self-motivated. Our job is to find out what it is and make sure that I keep it ignited.
Cool. That's great. Well said, Coach. Best of luck as you prep for Montreal. We're very much so looking forward to the call. 1 p.m. on Sunday. Ticats in Montreal for the semifinal for the East Division. Coach, great talking with you, man. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Luke.
Another episode of the Coach O Show with Luke Tasker is in the books. Let us know your thoughts. Email us at gameday@ticats.ca. Coach O and Luke are back next week to discuss the latest from the locker room. Subscribe to the Ticats Audio Network on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.